Hi boys and girls. Your inspired project for Bisa Butler is to create an animal portrait. So let's talk really quickly about what a quilt is. So a quilt is made from fabric, and it has a top layer that has pieces that are all put together, and that's what Bisa did, but she does hers a little differently than my great-grandmother made this one. She actually makes a picture of hers. So quilts have this back piece, they have a front piece that's all the designs, and then they have a binding on the edge. For you, you're only going to be in charge of the front piece. You won't have to be making a binding or anything like that because we're not going to be using fabric. You are going to be using paper, and that's how we're going to be inspired by her work. Maybe you have fabric at home. I happen to be a quilter and I happen to have a lot of fabric at home. You can add fabric into your piece. You could even add old pieces of wrapping paper into your piece. But what we are going to be doing is we're going to be taking paper, and you can crumple it up if you like, and it'll make it nice and soft, and it'll give it a texture that's similar to fabric. Now on Bisa's fabric, she also has a lot of patterns and designs. So I did a lot of patterns and designs on mine before I cut it out. So I kind of made my own fabric. So maybe that's something that you'd like to work on. Maybe you want to go ahead and start drawing some really cool designs on some white paper and just making some fun fabric for yourself to use. Whatever designs come to your mind, it's like a fun little doodle. You can color it in however you want. You can use crayons, color pencils, you can use markers, and then when you're done, you can start to crumple it up and you're going to start making your fabric for your artwork. However, to get started on this, you need to pick an animal. And I want you to start thinking about scale. Scale, like how much it weighs? No, I want you to start thinking about the size of something. So instead of making the entire animal, we're doing a portrait. So I actually want you to zoom in closer to the face. So start thinking about an animal that you'd like to do, and then I want you to draw it out. Now I'm going to start drawing an animal for you to kind of show you the way to get started. But remember, this is up to you. This is your animal that you want to do. I chose a giraffe because I happen to love seeing them at the zoo, but I'm going to draw you one of my favorite pets that I've had. One time when I was younger, I had a cat, so I'm going to show you how to draw a cat. Do you have to do a cat? No. Maybe you could turn this cat into a lion if you'd like. We're just going to do step by step how to draw this cat, but remember, you can do whichever animal you'd like. You can also search for maybe how to draw videos if you'd like, if you're a little stuck. The basic thing you want to do is think about shapes. So when I think about a cat, the shape that I'm going to draw, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to do a circle for the face. Now when I think about the shape of the ears, I think about triangles. When I think about the shape of the nose, I think about an upside down triangle. And the mouth is usually like this, like a backwards, or like a J and then a backwards J. For the eyes, sad face, happy face, put together. Sad face, happy face. I'm gonna make an eyelid. This is my style, and then I'm going to make two parentheses put together. And now I have the start of my cat. For the body, you don't have to get too detailed. No matter what animal you're doing, you can just make little shoulders that come down. If you wanted to add the tops of their legs, you could. One of the fun things about a cat is their tail. And remember, this can be fun. Maybe I want to make it a very long tail. But what I want you to notice, I have filled the whole page with my animal. That's very important because you're going to be filling up this paper with smaller pieces of paper. So I want to make sure that you don't have to work with really, really, really tiny pieces of paper. You want to be able to cut out bigger pieces. Now, as you move forward, there's going to be different ways that you can do it. I'm going to show you, but you might want to start prepping some of your fabric. And after you've made your animal, you might have more ideas about which colors you want to use. If you're lucky enough to have some colored paper at home, you can start crumpling that up and start making that fabric for yourself. If you want to, you could do something similar to mine in the background, where maybe you're only going to add the cutout pieces on the top of the animal. So maybe in the background, you want to start adding some cool designs. That's one thing that Bisa Butler had in her background. She had lots of fun patterns and designs. Maybe you're going to cut out your animal and maybe put it on top of some cool funky paper that you have at home. You could do that too. So after you're done with your animal, start thinking about which fabrics, which paper fabrics, you're going to want to add to your animal. So right now, for this part of the project, you are just practicing and getting your drawing down for which animal portrait you want to make. And remember, make sure that your animal is larger on the paper. It's a portrait, so we're just doing the face and we're doing it big. Not a lot of detail, simple shapes, and that will help us with our fabric. I hope you've enjoyed. Remember, stay creative. I cannot wait to see these animal portraits.